everyone. Today we're going to be looking at multiplication, specifically double-digit multiplication using the area model and standard algorithm. As you can see, we have two example ones. In our first example, we're going to multiply 14 times 12 using the area model. In our second example one, we're going to multiply 14 times 12 using the standard algorithm. When I look at the number 14, I can see that it has two places. A 4 that's in the ones place, and a 1 that is in the tens place. I can break this number up into its place value parts. So I can represent 14 as 10 and 4, and I'm going to place that at the top of my area model. 10 and 4 represents 14. I can do the same with the number 12. 2 is in the ones place, 1 is in the tens place. So I can represent 12 by breaking it into two parts, 10 and 2. And I'm going to put that along the side of my area model to represent the number 12. Now I need to multiply. So I'm going to look at the 10 and 4, and I'm going to multiply the 10 and the 4 by this first 10 for the number 12. 10 times 10 is 100, so I'm going to place 100 in this part of my area model. And then when I look over here, 4 times 10 is 40. So I'm going to place the 40 over here. Next, I'm going to multiply the 10 and the 4 by the digit 2. So I'm going to multiply 10 times 2, which is going to give me 20. And then 4 times 2, which is going to give me 8. And so now I have successfully taken 14 times 12 and I've broken it down into its place value parts, and I have gotten 4 partial products: 100, 40, 20, and 8. Now, the next thing that I need to do with those partial products is add them together. So I need to take my partial products and I need to add them. So I'm going to have 100 plus 40 plus 20 plus 8. When I add these together, I'm making sure that I line up my place value positions. When I add them, I am going to get 168. The next thing that I am going to pay attention to is I'm going to look at all of my partial products so that I can be aware that when I am using the area model, I in fact had to add 4 partial products to get to my final product. So partial product 1 was 100, partial product 2 was 40, partial product 3 was 20, partial product 4 was 8, and my final product was 168. And remember, your product is your answer to a multiplication problem. Next, we're going to look at the standard algorithm, and we're going to compare it to the area model. So let's look at our standard algorithm example, 14 times 12. This 14 times 12 is not written horizontally like 14 times 12 is here. It's now written vertically or stacked. And the way that we're going to learn to do the standard algorithm is that we're going to rewrite 14 times 12 as 14 times 2. We are going to look at this part first. We're going to remove the 1 that's in the tens place that was originally here so that we can focus on this 2 in the ones place and multiply 14 by this 2 first. And that keeps us on track and from getting confused. 4 times 2. When I multiply that, I'm going to get 8. Now I need to multiply the 2 in the ones place by this 1 in the tens place. So 1 times 2 is 2, and that gives us a product of 28. But I'm not finished. Now I need to go back and replace the 1 that I took away from this tens place. I need to put that back because now I need to multiply that 1. So I am going to put my 1 in the tens place back. Now, before I move forward, I'm going to take away some things that might confuse me, some things I don't need anymore. So since I've multiplied this 2 in the ones place by 14, I don't need this 2 anymore. So I can cross it off so that it's not in my way anymore. So let me cross off the 2. There. So that 2 is crossed off. Now I need to multiply 14 times this 1. And that's what we're going to focus on next. So now I am going to see this 1 that's in the tens place, and I'm going to multiply it by the 4 in the ones place. So I'm going diagonally, not up and down yet. Over here first, this 1 that's in the tens place gets multiplied by the 4 in the ones place. 4 times 1. I realize that this 1 is really a 10. So it's really 10 times 4 is what I am really multiplying. Therefore, before we can multiply 4 times 1 or this 4 times 10, we need to put a placeholder here. And that is going to be the digit 0. So we need to insert our placeholder, and we can never forget to put the placeholder here. It will cause us to not come out with the correct product. So this is our placeholder 0. And the reason I put a 0 here is because this 1, it's really a 10. It's really not a 1. Now I can proceed to multiplying. 4 times 1 is 4. So I'm going to put my 4 in the tens place because that's its correct position. And now that I've multiplied 4 times 1, I can again get rid of something that's going to cause me to get confused. So I'm looking at the right digits. So we're going to get rid of this 4. And so by getting rid of it, we just will cross it off like that. Now we can multiply 1 times 1. And that's going to give us 1. But these 1s are in, or 1 times 1, they both are in the tens place. So really I'm multiplying a 10 times a 10. And I'm going to put it here, which will be the hundredths place, which will be its proper position. So 1 times 1 is 1. And I'm going to place the digit 1 in the hundredths place. So it's in its proper position. Now that I've done that, I can add. I can add these together. So now when I'm looking at what I have 2 partial products, 28 and 140, that I get to add together. When I add those together, you guessed it, I'm going to get 168 like we did in the area model. So this added together gives me 128. Okay, a quick recap. We need to make sure that we multiply in the correct place values first. This is the placeholder that we added in, the 0, because we needed to put that in the ones place to represent the fact that this one is really in the tens place and it represents tens. Then we were able to add the partial products once we successfully found what those 2 partial products were. When I am comparing this to the area model, I can find all of the 4 partial products within the 2 partial products here. This 100 is represented here by this digit 1 that's in the hundredths place. This 40 is represented by the 4 and the 0 here. That includes my placeholder. This 20 is represented by the 2 that's in the tens place, and the 8 is represented by the 8 in the ones place. So I can see the comparisons of these 2 types of problems when we're solving for 14 times 12. When I am looking at my partial products, when I added, my first partial product was 28, and partial product 2 was 140 for the standard algorithm, and then my final product was 168, the same that it was when I did the area model. And as you can see, we have fewer steps when we're working on the standard algorithm. The standard algorithm takes practice, but you'll be a pro at it in no time. And I want you to go back and look at this video so that you can see how we compare the area model and the standard algorithm and came out with the same product. Right, until next time.